Lone Star.
Helmet. So, at last we meet for the first time for the last time.
Before you die, there is something you should know about us, Lone Star.
What?
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing, which is what you are about to become. Prepare to die.
We are definitely not here to kill this car, but guys, we have a brand new Z in the garage, dude. This is not mine. I actually met him at the Toys for Tots car show that we went to at the community college. He actually came up to me. He said, hey, do you know any good Z mechanics on the island? I said, yeah, I think I might know a guy. We've had a long-standing appointment. The GTR's out of here and the Z is running good. And speaking of the Z running good, let's do like we normally do a little bit of housekeeping, and let me catch you up on kind of what's been going on with the Z. So first, let me say something. I love you guys. I love all you guys. And just so you know, I read every single comment and I actually respond to almost every single comment. And it's funny sometimes when you get comments and you know people don't watch everything or they're not paying attention. You know, statistics show that average person watches about 6 minutes. So I know in about 4 minutes you guys are all going to be gone. But the ones that actually want to see what's going on, they're going to stick around. I got my head chopped off from the last episode about installing injectors because I didn't have a Haltech ECU installed, because you need a Haltech, bro. You can't just install injectors without a freaking Haltech. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate you letting me know. I'll make sure I keep that in mind when I'm tuning the freaking Haltech. Anyway, let me talk about why those injectors didn't work. So there was a couple different reasons. For one, the technical data that the manufacturer actually supplies to put in the Haltech is just incorrect. And without that technical data that gives the lag time in milliseconds as to the injector firing, there's no way to actually get the injectors firing correctly. Like, absolutely no way. I tried playing with the numbers, I tried manipulating them, I tried doing everything, but the fact of the matter is that every injector is different. The way the manufacturer actually makes the injectors, it's different as far as the actual trigger firing time of the injector themselves. So you can't just theoretically use the values from one injector to the next. It's all a set thing by the manufacturer. So that said, we couldn't use them. Now, I was also having an issue with the injectors going too far, like seating too deeply inside the fuel rail. That was a big freaking problem. I actually ended up chewing up a bunch of O-rings in the process, but let me show you what I ended up doing to fix that. So I placed a washer right there on the injector because there's actually a rubber O-ring or a rubber spacer, and that was actually compressing too much, and it was allowing the injector to go too far into the rail to the point where the O-ring was going into the actual fuel gallery part of the rail and no longer seating on the little stems where the injector sits. So by putting that hard washer in place, it allows the injector not to go in too far. And that was the key to success. Now, again, we're going to get to those 800cc injectors. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I've been seeing a lot of great suggestions, a lot of comments of, hey bro, you should do this, you should do that, you should have done that, you should have done this. Let's go back to the very beginning when I said that my goal was to build this as stock. I know that sounds weird for an engine swap, but as stock as possible. So I wanted to keep this as stock as possible to not introduce too many gremlins right off the bat, and then we're gonna start modifying things. I've already got a ton of things in the mail on the way, stuff like a new air temperature sensor, a new boost solenoid, fuel pressure sensor, stuff like that. I've already got the oil here for the first oil change. We're gonna go ahead and bump it up to some 15W50 instead of the 1040. Now, both of them are suggested in the manual. The people that are really concerned about high temperature viscosity, 15W50 seems to be the magic number, so that's what we're gonna be running with that. And I just got a couple little other odds and ends that are lying around of things that we're working on. Why is it just now that I'm doing these things? Let's look at the history of it. So I finished the car in August. Right around that time, summer was ending. I was busy. I was traveling a lot for work till about October that I had time. That's right about the rainy season. The car wasn't in a state where I wanted to have it out in the rain all the time. By the time I had a nice enough clear day, I had a coolant line ruptured. That took the car down. Got that repaired. That's about the time the GTR came into the garage for work. We needed to take the fuel rail off my car to give it to the GTR. That took my car out again. And finally got the fuel rail repaired, so everything's good to go now. Just now am I finally getting to actually drive the car. For the last couple weeks, I've actually been more or less daily driving it for the last couple weeks. It's like, as I said, I sold my truck. Now I'm finally kind of getting a feel for the little tweaks and the little things that I need to do here and there, such as tweaking the timing, tweaking this, tweaking that, really kind of getting a sense and a feel for how it's running on a more regular basis. And as that type of thing continues, we're going to keep ironing out bugs. But I'm here to tell you, man, the car is running better than ever. It's running really, really well. But this episode is all about focusing on this Z. So let's stop talking about mine and let's start talking about this. Now, one thing I'm gonna note here is that my neighbor is actually in the process of moving. So there's probably gonna be a lot of noise, some outside music and whatever, but look at this guy, man. We got a nice non-turbo coupe. It's a 1994. The guy that owns it has owned it for 22 years, man. And if you do the math, very well makes him the original owner. It's possible this car didn't sell immediately. It may have been produced in late 94, sold in 95. So it could very well be that he's the original owner, and I wouldn't doubt it, man. He's taken great, amazing care of it. It has 190,000 miles on it. He's brought it in for a couple different things. He says there's some issues with potential power steering fluid leak, and it's crapping out alternators. He wants to do a 60K service on it. On his way over here, the freaking clutch went out on the interstate. So we're gonna investigate that too and figure it out, because I haven't put any time into it. In fact, I haven't even opened the hood yet, and I want to do that together. But check this out. While I have the 2+2 and the coupe in the garage, now their butt ends are actually pretty much mirrored up nice and even in the back, so I can have them as far back to the garage door as possible. But check this out. If we look at the difference, I mean, I know it's just 6 inches, but dang, man, it really looks significant. And they are, like I said, they are dead even in the back. But yeah, man, there's a definite difference in the overall length. Yeah, anyway, cool beans. So we're gonna get to you soon enough, guy, and we're gonna keep having a good time. It's Friday night, we're going out this weekend, and all is well. Let's pop the hood and see where we're starting, and let's just freaking get to it, man. All right, this is a mystery to me as much as it is to you. Oh man, this is not bad at all. Guys, I'm here to tell you, man, this is really well taken care of, dude. This is really well taken care of. I mean, it's dirty, and you know what? We're gonna take some time and clean some stuff up too, man, because that's how BC do. Man, everything he has on here is like, it's name stuff, it's Stillen, it's good stuff, and his wheels, this is like the offset, so 17s up front, 18s in the back. Freaking classic look for the Z, man. And the interior, you saw the interior? Oh my gosh, it just looks incredible. I mean, yeah, it's old, it's dated, it's got some wear and tear, but man, these two-tone seats, it's a freaking hotness, dude. Here's what we're doing, man. Tear it all down, get it to where we're gonna change the timing belt. I already have all the goodies here from Concept Z Performance. I had the owner go ahead and buy the whole kit from Cause. We just need to get to where we're gonna put the kit on. I suppose I can kind of set something up to capture that process. Yep, let's get to it, man. Alright, welcome back. So this is the point with the terrible dub over because I forgot to reactivate the microphone on the camera. But I wanted to take a moment here at this point in the video to stop and show you before I took the belt off that I made sure to make sure everything was positioned into top dead center by having the crank on the 0 position, and that should let all the cams line up in the little tick marks that you see on those back plates. So that's very important. I'm probably talking to you here about how much I love coolant. It's one of my favorite things ever on the engine. And, oh, now it's all clean. Everything's clean, and I took a grinder to these tubes, get off the surface rust before we start putting things back together. All the pulleys are now back on. Everything's reassembled. I think all we have left to do is the belt at this point. One thing I like to do is take a Q-tip and white paint and actually accentuate the dots. Now, I've seen this on YouTube. People just take their belt and throw it. Nope. Maybe I can. Okay. I think I had to open it first, and that's what causes it to work. So here we go. Yep. Perfect. Works every time. I see it on YouTube all the time. I had to try it for myself. Now is the point where I'm talking about the fact that the clutch wasn't working, and when I did an initial inspection, I found something coming out of the bell housing, and it was a chunk of clutch disc, man. So yeah, there is a chunk of clutch disc that fell out of the bell housing area, so his clutch has definitely given up the ghost and is toast. So in addition to this timing belt change, I'm gonna have to go ahead and drop the transmission, and we're looking at a full clutch job. Now, he said there's a still-in lightweight flywheel. Not sure what type of clutch is in there, but we'll get to it when we get to it. That said, this is not something I'm going to be able to wrap up in a weekend like I thought, so we will extend this over to another TueZday garage. I wanted to take this time at the end just to kind of acknowledge once again the difference in the engine bays with these two different engines. So you could see with the VG, man, it's just so much cluster, so much stuff going on. Even if you tuck this engine bay, it's still tight. It's still clustered. And looking at the RB, it's like, holy cow, man. You just don't realize how much room and how much space is in there. And this is the first VG I've worked on since doing my swaps, so it was just kind of interesting to look comparatively side to side. Now, I truly don't think one is better than the other. They're just different. Again, sorry for this terrible voiceover. Gosh, what a monkey wrench. But until next time, guys, ciao a tutti and aloha. Bye-bye.